Hey friends, it's Megan, and I'm back counting down some more of my top 100 favorite baby names. Thanks everyone who's been on this journey with me counting down my top names. So this is part 8. There will be 10 parts total. We're getting down into some of my favorite names now. So in part 8, I'm going to talk about names that I have in spots 30 to 21 for boys and for girls. And so my buddy Amelia did this first, counting down her top 100 names. I'm doing this as a tag to her channel or her videos, but I've got a link to her channel down below in the description box for you to check out. I also have links to the first 7 parts of my series in case you missed any of those or want to go back and watch me talk about some of my other names. Okay, so let's go ahead and break into these names. At number 30 for girls, I have Julia. Julia used to be in my top 10. It slipped quite a bit. It is a name I could actually see myself naming a daughter because it is so timeless and classic and beautiful. It's just one of those sweet names that never seems to go out of style. At 30 for boys, I have Maxim. Okay, so this name, when I was a teenager, I read the book Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and the main male character in that is Maximilian, but everyone calls him Maxim, and I thought that was such a cool sounding name. I love lots of Max names. The only thing that keeps me from loving this name even more is that there's a popular men's magazine called Maxim, and I don't love that association for a name for a future child, but I think Maxim is such a cool name. Maybe I'll use it for a character or something in the future. At number 29 for girls, I have Rose. Rose is, like Julia, just classic, timeless, beautiful, old-fashioned name. This is a name, actually, people often ask me what I'd rename myself if I had to choose a new name. I often say Rose because it makes me think, too, of the Victorian time period, and I love that era. I know a lot of people in this country, a lot of women have Rose as a middle name, and I do like Rose as a middle name. I know that's filler to some of you, but I don't like that term, and I like Rose both as a first or a middle name, and I think the nickname Rosie is pretty precious. At 29 for boys, I have Kennan. So I briefly went to college with a man named Kennan. I think he was there a whole semester maybe, but I have never met another Kennan since. I think it's a really cool way if you wanted to use Ken and didn't want Kenneth or another Ken name. And I love that repeating N sound at the end of many boys' names that Kennan has. At 28 for girls, I have Quinn. So Quinn is a unisex name, and I like it more for girls. I don't mind it for boys. Typically, unisex names I feel like I like more for boys, but Quinn I like for a girl. And I love, I love lots of nicknames, and I might be taking nicknames a little too far with this one. Okay, so I like the idea of the nickname Quinny, or even Winnie with a W. I feel like you could kind of get away with. Maybe it's a stretch. Yeah, it's a stretch, but I like it. Okay, at 28 for boys, I have Jeremy. Jeremy is just a name that I've liked really forever, and I went to school with a fair amount of Jeremys, like elementary school, so I don't know. It's interesting that I like this name. I've heard a lot of buzz on baby name blogs and groups that I'm in around the name Jeremiah, which I think is handsome as well, but there's something about Jeremy that I like just a little bit more. At 27 for girls, I have Hope. Hope was high on my list in high school. As a teenager, this was a top 10 name for me, definitely. I still love it. I love it as a first name or a middle name. It is by far my favorite virtue name for a boy or a girl. At 27 for boys, I have Milo. This used to only remind me of Milo and Otis, but I think there's something just so adorable and like precious about the name Milo. I think Miles is really handsome and strong sounding as well. I like Miles, but I think that O at the end of Milo just is so cute and fun to me, and I love it. At 26 for girls, I have Scarlet. So regardless of how you say this name, it is just a showstopper. Scarlet is getting more and more popular, and I definitely see why. It's a really strong feminine name. It's got a lot of like presence to it. I don't know how else to describe it, but it just is. It's very like memorable. Lately I've been liking the 1T, but I like the 2T's as well. So yeah. At 26 for boys, I have Eli. I have lots of names on my list that you can use Eli as a nickname too, and you'll see those in part 9 and 10. But I like Eli as a middle name just kind of on its own, especially with a longer name, first name like Benjamin Eli or something like that. Eli is really cool, I think, as a middle name. Or a first name, but I like it as a middle name. Okay, at 25 for girls, I have Amelia. So this is, like I said, one of the names of my baby name buddies. Link to her channel down in the description box. Go check her out. She's got a gorgeous name. Amelia is a name that is definitely on the rise. It is so my style in many ways. It's lovely. It's old-fashioned. It's feminine. It's got like this beautiful grace to it. I think Amelia is gorgeous. At 25 for boys, I have Grey. Grey is a name I also really love in the middle name spot. It flows so well with so many names that I like. I like it with an A as well, but lately I've been liking the E spelling of Grey. And, sorry, I just got an email. Grey is probably one of my top 3 names that I'd consider using as a middle name for a future son. Okay, at 24 for girls, I have Lilias. Lilias is a beautiful Scottish name. It's the name of Colin Craven's mother in The Secret Garden. That's where I first heard or read this name. And I love so many names with Lil in them, and a lot of Lil names like Lillian, Lily, Liliana are really gaining a lot of attention. So Lilias is a cool way to have that sound in a less popular name. I love that this name is not that common, and it's got a soft, kind of sweet sound to it, Lilias. At 24 for boys, I have Barrett. So I've got a bit of a story around this name. My mom loves the poet Elizabeth Barrett Browning. She wrote Sonnets from the Portuguese, and back when I was a teenager I stole her copy of that, and my middle name is Elizabeth, and part of why is because of that poet. And so Barrett being her first surname there, kind of I think would be a cool name to use kind of to honor my mom and our mutual love of that poet. And one of the things that I love about Barrett is you can use nicknames like Barry, but I love just Bear, B-E-A-R, on its own. I think that's adorable on a little guy. And there's something so like whimsical and fun about the nickname Bear, and something so strong and sturdy about the name Barrett. So I like that they are kind of the two extremes. At 23 for girls, I have Cordelia, another name that I love for literary reasons. So my Anne of Green Gables friends, you will hear me in loving Cordelia from reading that series. This is the name Anne would have picked for herself had she been able to choose her own name. I used to have Cordelia on my guilty pleasure list, but recently I'm like, well, I love it. Why wouldn't I use it if I love it? And I love the nickname Delia. I'd love to actually hear in the comments what you guys think of Cordelia. Usable or not? Should I push it up higher on my list? I've loved it for a long time. At 23 for boys, I have Grant. So Grant is another one that's just so handsome and timeless and straightforward to me. These one-syllable boys' names, I think, pack a lot of punch. It feels very firm and solid, masculine, grounded name. At 22, I have Katia. Oh, I love to say this name. I love Kate as well, and lots of variations of Kate and Catherine, but Katia is like this spiced up, romantic, enticing version of those names. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It actually, I was talking about Rose as being a name I would have liked to have been named. I think Katia would be a name I would have liked to have been named as well. It's so stunning. Oh my goodness. At 22 for boys, I have Jude. Hey Jude. Yeah, you're just an awesome little name. Along with Grey, like I was saying, Jude is one of those names that I really love as a middle name for boys. Flows so well with so many of the names that I love. And I think Jude or Grey, there's strong contenders for middle names for a future son of mine. At 21 for girls, I have Charlotte. Alright, I adore the name Charlotte. It's another beautiful classic name. I love the nickname Lottie. It is so precious, but I kind of feel like Charlotte clashes with what my future children, if everything goes the way I hope it does, what their last name will be, and my last name too one day. But oh, do I love Charlotte. So beautiful. Again, classic beautiful girl's name. And then at 21 for boys, I have Levi. So Levi has this like zestiness to it that I really love. There's something really wholesome and sweet about this name, and I do kind of picture like it's got a cowboy charm. It's got like the southern little bit to it that I love. I love Levi also as a first or a middle name. So there's some more of my favorite baby names here for you. Comment below, let me know what you think of any of these names, and come back soon for part 9, where I will be talking about names I'd really consider using in spots number 20 to 11. So I will see you soon for the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye bye.